Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Man United are an international brand. They have their own tyre sponsor and even noodle sponsor. Their success in the 90s, with their star-studded squads down the years, with David Beckham, Ronaldo and the less glamorous Wayne Rooney, made them open themselves beyond Manchester and into every continent. With their pre-season tours in America and China, Man United seemed to travel the globe more than any other club back in the day. Man United always seemed to sign a bunch of players from around the globe, with a top scouter network and no doubt with the ability to market the club in new countries. United squads down the years always seem to be filled with rare talent from all corners of the globe. So here's our Man United best 11 with one player per country. Peter Schmeichel, Denmark. In goal, we could have been super international and put Tim Howard in to include a rare American to have played for Man United, or even Spain's number one. Well, maybe not so after recent seasons. David De Gea has been incredible for a large part of the last decade for Man United. However, despite his weird stint at Man City, Peter Schmeichel will go down as maybe the biggest goalkeeping legend at Man United. He was arguably the best keeper in the world at points in the 90s, and his peak surely came in the 1999 treble winning season. Powerful in one-on-one situations and equally as agile in the save, Peter Schmeichel is no question the best Danish player to have played for the illustrious red side of Manchester. I'm sure Anders Lindegaard wouldn't hold much of an argument against that. We're going to play a 3-4-3 system here, so we can accommodate a wide-ranging list of international superstars. Antonio Valencia. At right back, United have had some solid options down the years. And the latest one in Aaron Wan-Bissaka, looking really impressive in his debut season. However, we have to give this pick, whose country is basically not represented for Man United, except for one guy, Antonio Valencia. Antonio Valencia played 241 times for the Reds, starting his post-Wigan career as a winger and then moving to fullback. In his best seasons at Man United, he was powerful, bombing up and down the right flank of Old Trafford. Maybe underappreciated at points, Valencia captured the club numerous times and was often the leader the post-Ferguson era really needed. Solid player. Nemanja Vidic, Serbia. He was dominant in the air and was a pure football leader on the pitch. Nemanja Vidic inspired Man United to 5 Premier Leagues and a Champions League, as well as numerous cup competitions. Vidic is often described as one of the best centre-backs in Premier League history, let alone Man United history, and with Rio Ferdinand often next to him, he did at points look invulnerable. Well, ask Fernando Torres that. EVRA, France. Okay, Man United fans may kill me here, and with YouTube comments, no one is ever happy. However, at left-back, we needed someone sturdy, reliable, and in his prime, a world-class left-back. Dennis Irwin stops us using Roy Keane, and Phil Neville, Fabio, Ashley Young, Gabriel Heinze and Lee Martin can't really take this spot. So Eric Cantona is going to be dropped for the bench, and the guy who posts weird Instagram stories, Patrice Evra, is going in at left back, representing France. Every Frenchman for themselves. Tucking in the back three makes sense for him, as he was defensively a solid enough player that he could have played in a number of positions for Man United down the years. An all-round top left back. Roy Keane, Republic of Ireland. One of the best players to ever come from the Republic of Ireland, period. Keane was known as a tough-tackling, foul-mouthed leader in the middle of the park. Despite walking off in a huff in the 2002 World Cup for his country, Ireland fans would say no doubt that Roy Keane is one of the best midfielders ever produced, and maybe Man United fans would agree for them too. Underrated on the ball, he was a very effective passer, rarely losing possession in big games, and always covering his defence with strong positional play. Oh, and he could bang one in too. Now doing the rounds as a pundit, Keane is looking to get back into management, after recently being the assistant coach of his country under Martin O'Neill. I'm sure he wants the excuse to slag off players for poor performances face to face rather than in a TV studio. Ryan Giggs, Wales. Man United fans must think they're seeing double with the fast-paced young whippersnapper from Wales running up and down the wing in Dan James. He's currently managed, however, by the best Welsh player to ever play for Man United, Ryan Giggs. Giggs played for the club from 1987 to 2014. Think about the awful prime ministers Britain have had in that period. And all the while, Giggs was bombing it up and down the wing at Old Trafford. 114 goals in 672 appearances, with the most appearances ever and one of the highest trophy hauls in football history. Giggs on his day was a unique mixture of pace down the wing and composure in setting up play for others. In the latter stages of his career, he played down the middle and set up goals for other players. He started the 2011 Champions League final in midfield, showing you that Ferguson trusted him implicitly, despite getting hammered by Barcelona. Park Ji-sung, South Korea. We've gone with a very attack-minded team here, and in the biggest games in the later years of Ferguson, Man United often picked Park Ji-sung to cover the defence and man-mark the best players from the opposition. He was a South Korean superstar and was not only a class act on the field, but represented his country in an amazing way by being the first South Korean to play for Man United. He's incredibly famous in his home country for doing so, and at points for United, he was unmissable. He was unmistakable in his role in the semi-final against Barcelona in 2008, pressing Iniesta and Deco in midfield relentlessly. However, Alex Ferguson ruthlessly dropped him for the final against Chelsea, not even making him onto the bench. But there's no question, a lot of the biggest games for Man United during this time involved Park Ji-sung and his hard work off the ball. Cristiano Ronaldo, Portugal. On the left of the midfield four, there can only be one Portuguese on this list, a tricky and skillful winger who converted into an incredible goal machine in his time in Manchester. No, we're not talking about Bebe. But obviously, CR7, the man himself, Cristiano Ronaldo, has gone down since leaving Manchester as potentially one of the best players in history. Let alone for Madrid, let alone for Juventus, or even Manchester United, but ever. Not bad going for a kid who was renowned for diving and doing stepovers when he first joined. Ronaldo was signed by United in 2003 and went on to score 84 goals in 196 appearances for United, winning numerous Premier Leagues and a Champions League. Ronaldo could drive in on his right foot, and with such power and expert ball control, it was rarely seen at that level in world football. Ronaldo got better and better in his 6 years under Ferguson. His free kick against Portsmouth sums up everything you need to know about Ronaldo. It was of the highest quality, but behind it, years and years of practice and graft. Despite the flashy haircuts and Lamborghini, he worked for his success, and Man United and Portugal fans reaped the rewards. Sorry it couldn't be you, Bebe. Wayne Rooney, England. Bobby Charlton could easily have gotten into this list as being the best Englishman to play for the Red Devils, particularly in midfield, or attacking options down the years. But for me, Wayne Rooney goes down slightly higher just because he's the highest scorer in the club's history, and Roy Keane already operates the midfield slot. So good luck kicking him out of the squad anyway. Wayne Rooney was often the centre of media controversy for his behaviour in and around Manchester, and mainly because he was a prodigious talent that the world wanted to get to know better. The ironic thing is, there wasn't really that much to know. He's just an Evertonian from the streets of Liverpool with world-class talent and potential. Bicycle kicks against Man City and volleys against Newcastle went down extremely well with Reds fans, and his goals contributed towards 5 Premier League titles and a Champions League. One of the best English players ever, let alone in the Premier League history. Wayne gets into this list easily. George Best, Northern Ireland. George Best was a tragic hero of modern football, one of the first true footballing icons who went global with an array of incredible skills and goals, contributing European and domestic honours in the mid-60s and early 70s. Unfortunately for George Best, partying and a life of extreme scrutiny and attention forced him into unhealthy habits, which culminated in health concerns throughout his career. He scored 137 goals in 360 appearances, which is brilliant for not an out-and-out striker. He would jink his way through defences with uncanny ease, and often did the same with his native Northern Ireland, where his famous goal against England in 1971 at Windsor Park sent Northern Irish fans into rapture. Just go watch it for yourself. George Best is often described by his ex-teammates and compatriots as the best ever, and for what he could do with the ball and the respect the football world gave him, he'll never be forgotten, especially by Reds fans. Ruud van Nistelrooy, Holland. Lots of Dutch talent to choose from for Man United. It's not an easy pick. Van der Sar, Jaap Stam, and Robin van Persie. But for us, Ruud van Nistelrooy is often an underrated striker on his day. 95 goals and 150 appearances is an unbelievable return for a striker. Carlton Cole would sell a kidney for that kind of average. And with that famous goal against Fulham, where he basically ran the whole pitch by himself and scored a sublime goal, United fans adopted him very, very quickly. Either way, he'd get into most sides in his prime. He was extraordinarily lethal and goes down as a Holland and Man United legend. Ruud van Nistelrooy could consider himself rather unlucky to have played for a Man United side not quite as dominant as it used to be in the late 90s. In the early 2000s, he won the Premier League in 2002-2003, the FA Cup in 2003-2004, and the Football League Cup in 2005-2006. That's about it. Still not going for one of the most lethal strikers Holland and Man United fans ever saw. Guys, thanks for watching. Make sure you like, comment and subscribe, and let us know if we've missed any players out in this Man United combined 11 with one player per country.